Hello everyone, welcome back to An Italian in My Kitchen. I am Erica and today we're opening up officially the fall season and we're starting off with a nice Streusel cinnamon coffee cake. So this cake is really good. Aside from the fact that it has cinnamon and we know how much we love cinnamon on this channel, it also has a nice soft and moist cake bottom. And on top of it, we're adding a nice crumbly topping. So it has a little bit of crunch, it has the spice, it has everything you want from a fall cake. I don't know if you know this, but it's a coffee cake, but it doesn't actually have coffee. So coffee cakes sometimes have coffee in them, but usually they're called coffee cakes because you serve them with coffee or tea. So that's the reason why we're calling it a coffee cake, because it goes really well with coffee. So that's a fun fact for you if you didn't know why some cakes that don't have coffee are also called coffee cakes. And after that, I'm just gonna shut up and we can go and bake it. First of all, we're going to preheat our oven to 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius. And also we're going to grease and flour or spray our cake pan, which is going to be either square or round, whichever one you want, an 8 or 9 inch pan. And I'm going with a square pan because I've been liking the square cake aesthetic these days, so I'm going for a square one. We're going to start by making the topping for the cake, and for the topping we need 1.5 cups of cake crumbs. So you don't actually, like if you have a cake that you've already made crumbs left over, then use those are fine. But if you don't, you can just get like a store-bought cake and just crumble it up, and then you'll get some nice crumbs, some nice cake crumbs basically. And then the rest of the cake you can either, you know, share it with family or just eat it a little bit at a time. That's what I might have done. Anyways, moving on. So we have our cake crumbs, and then we're going to mix into our cake crumbs 2 tablespoons of flour, 2/3 cups of brown sugar that's been lightly packed, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're gonna mix this all together. So when it's all nice and mixed together, we're going to add 3.5 tablespoons of cold butter. We're just going to mix it all together. So start mixing with your fingers and make sure that the butter gets combined with the crumbs. So they become, basically it becomes a nice crumbly crumble topping. And when we're all ready, we're just going to set this aside. So in a small pot, now we're going to add 1/3 cup of butter and 1 cup of milk. We'll heat it until the butter has melted, and then we'll let it cool. And next we're going to take a large bowl, and in this bowl we're going to add 2 cups of flour, either all-purpose or cake flour. I have cake flour here. And then add 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna whisk this all together. And then we're going to put this aside for a minute. You can either do this step in the pot, or you can just transfer your buttermilk mixture into another bowl, which is what I'm going to do so it cools a little bit faster. Whisk into it 2 large eggs and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. We're gonna take back our dry ingredients and we're going to fold with a spatula our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients, and we're gonna fold this until it's nice and combined. There will be some lumps in the end. So then we're gonna take our pan and we're going to transfer the mix into the pan. As a last step, before we bake it, we are going to sprinkle it with our topping. And now we're going to bake the cake for about 40 to 60 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the cake comes out clean or with just a few crumbs. So we'll be back in just a few seconds. And there you go. We have our cake. Nice and done. And now we're just gonna wait for it to cool down. Then we're gonna cut a piece and we're gonna try it. And there you go, we have our cake all nice and done. Here's the final result, and as you can see, we have the nice crumble on top and the soft spongy part of the cake. So it's taste test time and I'm going to go for it. Buon appetito. Okay. It's good. I like how nice and soft it is. The cake itself is very nice and moist. And then we have that crunchiness that comes from the crumb topping on top. And it's also it's nice and sweet. So there's the cinnamon that you can really taste, and then the sweetness that comes from, you know, the sugar and the butter that we put into the crumb topping. So it's very, very nice, and a very nice cake that goes perfectly with coffee. So we made a very nice coffee cake, and it's perfect for fall. So whenever you have people over, you want to have dessert with your coffee, you can serve this. It's very quick to make, easy, and the perfect coffee cake. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and as always, you'll find all the ingredients, links, measurements in the description box below. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, if you like this video, give us a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm gonna have another piece because it's really good.